This is KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Cavan Hallman, who is opening a new theater troupe in the Cedar Rapids area called Mirrorbox Theatre. Welcome, Cavan. Good to see you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Before we talk about Mirrorbox, I want to hear a little bit about the story of how you landed in Cedar Rapids, because it's kind of an interesting one. You're kind of sort of a trailing spouse.
That's true. That's true.
Your wife, Katie, is fairly recently taken over as executive director of Theater Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, she just, I think, crossed the 1-year mark a couple days ago.
But you were telling me before we got on the air that actually between the two of you, she was more... her experience had been more in music business. You're the theater person in the family.
Well, I definitely wouldn't diminish her theater capabilities and her knowledge there. But yeah, she studied music business at NYU for grad school, and I just got my MFA in playwriting at University of New Orleans. But we both had a real passion for the arts. Our second date was at Carnegie Hall here in Edie Brickell play, a jazz set over there. But yeah, we intersected in a love for the arts, among other things. And she grew up in Lisbon, so not far from here. So taking this job was really a homecoming for her. And I had never lived in Iowa before.
And how are you finding it?
I'm finding it really exciting. It's the quality of life here is really wonderful, and also the quality of the art here is really impressive. So, yeah. And I've been really lucky in that a lot of different companies and individual artists really reached out to me from the minute I got here. And I've felt nothing but welcomed, and like this is a world of opportunities here.
And you're taking some of those opportunities by the horns and starting your own theater company.
I am, yeah. Mirrorbox Theatre. It's a new opportunity. It's a new theater company devoted exclusively to contemporary works. So everything in our initial season is an Iowa premiere. And the goal moving forward is to expand that eventually into regional premieres and world premieres as well. Our interest is in doing contemporary plays that reflect contemporary culture.
You're a playwright yourself,
Mm-hmm.
so you are probably you're focused probably more than most folks, even most folks in the theater, on what is interesting, what is new. What do you see as kind of the trends in new theater productions these days?
Yeah, well, speaking as a playwright, even more so about the writing of it rather than the production of it. One of the things that's really interesting is a lot of playwrights kind of using poetic conventions in the ways that they write their scripts and kind of the way that a script looks on the page. And that's something that the first two plays that we're doing this year, Exit Strategy by Ike Holter and Red Speedo by Lucas Nath, both of those writers take advantage of that rather than writing something that kind of looks conventional paragraph form. They are breaking up their dialogue on the lines kind of with these poetic structures and trying to capture the rhythms of speech even more than just words on a page.
It's almost as if drama is being influenced by, say, hip-hop music, which is all about the rhythm of how speech happens.
Yeah, and I think considering how real people talk, and obviously there's a difference between reality and theater. In fact, that's kind of one of my core ideas. I don't want people to try and be real, because once you introduce a script and entrances and exits, it's not real. It's theater. But this, believability and all of that. When you're creating believable characters, a lot of people don't speak in full sentences. They don't always say exactly what they mean. There's kind of a stream of consciousness effect that happens in normal conversation between two humans. And I think that format allows for people to explore how meaning is conveyed through rhythm, not just through well-constructed sentences.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but
Yeah.
I have the same conversation with Tim Hankowich at the orchestra. I have the same conversation, here at KCCK, where people, in radio parlance, we say people want to hear the hits.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, the orchestra, likes to feature 20th and 21st century music, and sometimes that's a tough sell to their audience. We play new jazz on the radio, sometimes that's a tough sell for the audience.
Yeah.
Same thing with new drama. So what do you say to the person who says, "Oh, new drama, sounds heavy, no thanks"?
Well, one of the things that I would say first off is that these plays that we're doing this year, I could not be more excited about the way that they balance drama and humor. So just because something is drama doesn't mean that it's heavy necessarily. That's not to say that they're not dealing with real issues that are part of our contemporary culture, but new drama isn't necessarily heavy is one thing. And I think the other benefit that Mirrorbox has, particularly in our partnership with Legion Arts and CSPS and being in the black box space there, is that, Orchestra Iowa, if they're trying to fill up the Paramount, they have a different target in mind. And, we're in this intimate black box space. I know that the community, the Eastern Iowa community, has a real love of theater. And I think that there are 180 people who will come and see a new play. We're not trying to fill up the TCR auditorium, with 500 people a night for a number of weeks.
Should have mentioned at the top that you are going to be performing in the Legion Arts space there at CSPS. The really nice black box on the first floor, and that you're partnering with Legion Arts in presenting your plays. So tell me about the first one, Exit Strategy, which is opening first part of April, yes?
Yep, it runs Thursday, April 5th through Saturday, April 7th, 7:30 p.m. for all the shows, again, at C-Space at CSPS. And Exit Strategy is about a crumbling Chicago public school. And it's primarily the teachers and an administrator and this kind of radical, socially engaged student, and how all of these characters are responding to the imminent closing of this Chicago public school. And one of the things that I've really organized the way that we're thinking about this play is, teachers are supposed to be the people who have the answers. And these people are struggling with a really difficult situation. And what does it mean for all of these characters to either think they have the answer for how to move forward, or to be searching for the answer to move forward? And looking at the drama of how these people deal with this very difficult situation that reverberates throughout their neighborhood.
Talking with Cavan Hallman from Mirrorbox Theatre. His premiere production is coming up April 5th. And you said that you've got a second piece on the season coming up. When will Red Speedo go up?
Yep, Red Speedo runs May 24th through May 26th. Okay. And that's by Lucas Nath, who he had a great success on Broadway this year with his sequel to Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House Part 2. And so that's another Iowa premiere, and that's about an Olympic class swimmer who gets caught with a ton of steroids on the eve of the big meet, and how he and his entourage handle that crisis.
So if people want more information about Mirrorbox Theatre, how do they get it?
Yeah, so we have a website that's under construction that's launching this week, and that'll be mirrorboxtheater.com. We do theater RE. And then we also have a Facebook page, Mirrorbox Theater. You can find us there. And also tickets are available for all 4 shows of the season at legionarts.org.
Okay, well, good luck with the first 2 productions, and then come back and we'll talk about the back half of your season.
That'd be fantastic.
So come back anytime. Great.
Thank you very much.
Cavan Hallman from Mirrorbox Theatre. His Exit Strategy is opening April 5th at the C-Space at Legion Arts, CSPS Hall in New Bo in Cedar Rapids. Thanks again for joining us for the Culture Crawl. Don't forget that you can watch the Culture Crawl, listen to the Culture Crawl on the radio live most Thursdays and Fridays, or watch the video on social media or the podcast app of your choice at kcck.org/culture. I'm Dennis Green.